Hi, it's Alaska Granny. If you've been to the grocery store lately, you can see that there are foods that are becoming harder to get. They're in shorter supply, but prices are going up. And yes, maybe you can find food in the store, but have you noticed that packages are getting smaller, that the selection is less, that maybe the brand you used to have isn't available, and there might be other brands of the food that you're looking for, but it may be more expensive and not what you were actually wanting. And that's one of the issues that I've been finding, is the things that I want are not readily available, or the prices have just really gone up. So I have a list for you of 8 foods that I think you should buy now, if they're foods that you use. Of course, you don't want to stock up on food that isn't the food that you eat, that you enjoy, and that you want to have. But if it is food that you enjoy eating, this might be a great time to buy a little bit extra. The first food is coffee. If it's something that you enjoy and you want it on a daily basis, make sure that you're stocking up. If an item is in high demand, but the supply goes down because of a bad harvest, that means prices are going up. Or maybe the brand that you enjoy the most will no longer be available at your store. If they don't have as much of a particular item, then it becomes a distribution problem, and they can only supply certain stores or available marketplaces, and you may not be able to get the distribution of the product that you want. If you're looking to store coffee for the longest term, get the freeze-dried instant coffee. It has all of the moisture removed, there's no oils in it, and a jar of instant coffee can be in your pantry for decades. The next food to think about stockpiling, if it's something that you enjoy, is honey. The price of honey is skyrocketing. We know that there are declining bee populations, which is going to affect the overall amount of honey that's available. And if you've had extremely wet or cold spring, that can affect the honeybees as well. They're not able to produce the amount of honey that they are used to. Then that means that the item is in shorter supply. So when there's shorter supply, and it's an item that a lot of people enjoy, then the price is just going to go up. Something that I noticed in the store, that the packages of honey, they're starting to put it into little like squeeze tubes, that I can't see that that packaging would ever be appropriate for any length of time. Honey is a food that can last forever. Try to buy your honey in a glass container, or put it into a glass container once you get it home, and try to buy as local a honey as possible. Ongoing shortages include sugar. That's something that I've been trying to buy a little more when I have the opportunity. And you can pick up a small bag at the grocery store every time you go until you know that you have a sufficient amount of sugar on hand. We take it for granted how many of the processed foods we buy and the convenience items already have lots of sugar in them. But as times become harder and food becomes more scarce, you may find that you're doing more cooking and preparing your own meals. Then you're going to need more of the basic ingredients, and sugar is one of them. Fresh fruit should be in bountiful season right now, but if you notice that the prices are skyrocketing, it's unbelievable how much the produce is going up. So one of the things that I like to do is look for dried and dehydrated fruits. Even though they're fresh now, get some fresh to eat now, but some dried or dehydrated to put away for the future when the summer season is over and maybe you can't get those foods anymore, or they become extremely expensive. Think about things like raisins, cranberries, and there are all kinds of dried pineapple, mango, all kinds of things. You can find them even at the Dollar Tree. You don't have to buy the most expensive items. You can look for them in affordable prices. But you also then don't want to stock up on a whole bunch of something if you've never tried it. Buy one small package, take it home, and try it. If you like it, you can go back and get more, because dried fruit is still very expensive, and you don't want to stockpile one that you find out you didn't like it and it was of inferior quality. I made a video in the past about the dried and dehydrated fruits at the Dollar Tree, and I'll put a link to that video. Some of them were very good, some of them not so much. So I was glad that I was able to try a selection of each one and then compare them, and maybe you'll want to see that video so that you know which ones you might want to try too. Grains continue to be in short supply, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So think about the foods that you enjoy that are made out of grain. Everything from a loaf of bread to a package of brownie mix or muffin mix or pastas. There are all kinds of foods that we like that are made out of grain. So next time you go to the store, look at the price of a loaf of bread and you may be shocked to see how much it's increased in price. I know I have been. And so that's one of the things that I've been trying to do is buy a little bit extra of things like flour so that I can make some bread in my bread machine. I bought the bread machine at a thrift store. It was very inexpensive, and it's been awesome how well it produces a loaf of bread, and I can save dollars every time I make one over what the bread costs in the store. So if you want to see how to use a bread machine, I'll put a link to the video on the Oster bread machine that I bought at a thrift store and how great and easy it is to make a loaf of bread. Whatever is your favorite oil for cooking, make sure that you have a few extras. Oil doesn't last forever, so you still need to be rotating it. Don't think you can buy oil and just set it aside and it'll be good forever, because it will not. It goes rancid. So don't have more than you can use and rotate and then replace in a reasonable amount of time. And one of the nice things about having that extra bottle, that extra jar or container in your prepper pantry is that you can go and get one from there that you bought at a cheaper price, because next time you need one, you may go to the store and see that the price has risen dramatically. So if you have a few extras of items you use all the time now, you'll be saving money in the future, simply because you're using the foods that you bought at a less expensive price. The price of meat is astronomical. It's unbelievable how much meat costs, but you can still find bargains. And one of the things that I like to do is look for varieties of canned meats, because then I know going forward I have a nice supply in my prepper pantry and my food storage stockpile, because you can continue to save that meat for several years past the date. It nearly always is going to still be good to eat. You can tell it's finally a calm, sunny day in Alaska. Every little plane is out. We call those the Alaska minivans. Everybody gets their little plane. They fly out to the remote areas because the roads just don't go all the places in Alaska. So people have lots and lots of little planes. So sorry if you keep hearing them, but everybody's enjoying the nice weather today. My daughter recently was telling me that she bought some organic milk for her children, and it was nearly $12 a gallon. $12 a gallon. That makes the price of gas look cheap. So if milk is something that you count on having, look for a way that you can, yes, have your fresh milk, but then have some that you can have in your pantry, whether it's the shelf-stable boxes of milk, whether it's some cans of milk, but look carefully at the labels of the canned milk, because I found some that I hadn't even noticed before that said filled milk, which means it has oil added to it. So read carefully. It's almost like we're being tricked into buying products that we don't realize because we're either in a hurry or we're just so shocked at how much things cost, we just want to get out of the store. Plus, everybody's busy, but we have to take the time and read the label so that we know what's in the foods that we're buying. Check also on the dates when you're buying the foods, because sometimes the food has been languishing on the shelf and you don't want to buy food that's nearly expired to put away for the long term. You want to look to the back of the shelf in the store and make sure that you're buying the freshest foods you can find. Then when you bring it home, you want to do the same thing. Push the old stuff forward and put the new stuff behind it so that you are rotating the food and you're using it up in a reasonable amount of time, and then you will always have fresh food in your prepper pantry food storage stockpile. If you want to have milk for the longest haul, that's when you want to go to powdered milk. And the non-fat dry milk is what can last the very longest. I don't like it. A lot of people do. That's fine. Go ahead and stockpile all you want. My choice in powdered milk is the Nido Fortificata, which you can find on the Hispanic aisle, actually powdered whole milk. So it will keep a few years. It won't keep 30 years, but you can get several years out of it. I think 2 years passed what the date was on the Nido Fortificata, and it was still fine, but I hadn't opened it yet. Once you open it, you need to use it up in a reasonable amount of time. Almost no food lasts forever once you open it. You need to reseal it in an airtight container and keep it as cool, dark, and dry as possible. Because the better we store our food, the longer it lasts. That's what we want, the longest lasting, top quality food that we can have to provide meals for our family in the future. Prepping is lifestyle insurance. I want to have food. I love eating, and I want to make sure that I have it, whether it's a sunny day, a snowy day, or the world just goes crazy. If we take care of our basic needs and have the things on hand to provide that peaceful quality of life that we can keep living, and then figure out what to do with all of the challenges that we face. So that's a list of 8 foods that I recommend that you buy now. Stock up if you need those foods, if you enjoy them. If there's a food that you're noticing is skyrocketing in price, is in short supply, or that you're having to buy a brand that's not what you want, leave it in the comments below. Then we'll have ideas of what we need to look for, and maybe ideas of things that we want to buy that we hadn't thought about. I hope you'll like my video and share it with someone else you think might enjoy it. And please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.